All right. Good to be here in North Carolina, my home. Yeah.
All right.
Just right off the bat, how many native Southerners do we have? Yeah, just holler, raise your hand, throw some okra, whatever. Whatever feels good. Now, we face stereotypes, don't we? I was traveling abroad recently in New Jersey. Yeah. It's lovely this time of year. And this guy comes up to me after the show. He's like, hey, you from North Carolina? How come you have any crazy Southern accents? So I don't get mad. I just had a little fun with him. I said, well, here's my secret. I've been through redneck rehab. Oh, yeah. At the tender age of 15, I was separated from my wife, our 6 kids, plucked out of the trailer park and taken to a secret holding unit where they deprived me of pro wrestling, line dancing, and NASCAR. They exposed me to all kinds of new things like shoes and fractions. People think everybody in the South lives in a mobile home. That's ridiculous. What about all the people that live in prison? Hello? Actually, I have lived in a trailer, and I think mobile homes get a bad rap because all you ever hear about trailers is the bad stuff. You know, oh, trailers attract tornadoes, hurricanes, the cast of the TV show Cops. I lived in a trailer for years. We never had a tornado. Now, we did have a flood one year. The riverbanks rose up and washed away 8 trailers. Yeah, 8 trailers were completely washed away. 196 people lost their home. It's bad. The police estimated the damage to nearly $13.5. It's devastating. We had a nice trailer. It was a 1976 Bicentennial Edition. Yeah, it's true. In 76, they put a bicentennial seal on everything, and the trailer was no exception. It had an American eagle on there. Well, actually, it was a bald eagle, but he had his feathers combed over. Couldn't tell. Cigarette hanging out of his beak. It's classy. There's a lot of good stuff about living in a trailer you just don't hear about. For instance, in all my years living there, never once did I have to worry about ghosts. Yeah. Think about it. You don't ever hear about a ghost haunting a mobile home. If you died in a trailer, you're not going to want to go back in the afterlife. I mean, hell can't be but so bad. At least the heat works. What's a ghost going to do to haunt a trailer? Make the Camaro in your front yard levitate off the blocks? Make the eyes on the velvet Elvis painting move? Wake up at night going, boo, y'all. Boo, y'all. Come home one day, there's a ghost on your couch eating all your Cheetos. You wouldn't be able to see the ghost, just see that orange stuff around his fingers and mouth. Cheese dust. I was doing a show one time in Goldsboro, North Carolina, because I play all the big towns. Yeah. And I'm like, you know, ghosts never haunt mobile homes. This woman in the back was like, oh, yes, they do. My trailer's haunted. I'm like, ma'am, how do you know your trailer's haunted? What does the ghost do? She's like, he turns the lights on and off and knocks on the door. I'm like, ma'am, that's not the ghost, that's the power company. I bet if you paid your bill, that ghost would leave you alone. I'm from a tiny little town, a little backwoods town called Saxby, North Carolina. Yeah, it's tiny little. Back as sticks can get. I mean, in the country, growing up, man, we didn't have fancy frilly things like pants and neighbors with different names. We didn't have store-bought games. We had to make our own country games like Name Them Droppings. How about around the Who's Got Chiggers? Sometimes we'd gather all the kids around and play Who's Your Daddy? Because we really didn't know. New Year's Eve, we didn't have fireworks, just a drunk uncle with a butane torch and a roll of toilet paper. Happy New Year, woo! That's how we rolled. Thank you. Thanks, man. Rednecks love fireworks and beer, and that's a deadly combination. Every July 4th around the South, rednecks blow themselves up left and right. See, the terrorists have got it wrong. Stop trying to build an underwear bomb and just open up a roadside fireworks stand on the way to the beach. We'll do the work for you. Just stand outside a Carolina Panthers football game handing out old Milwaukees and M80s. We'll be blowing up left and right. But they don't teach that in the fancy terrorism school. That's not jihad, that's yeehad. Now, if you're not laughing, the terrorists win, all right? See some crazy things driving around. I was in Florence, South Carolina. It's 2 a.m. I pulled off at a truck stop. There's a sign up that says, please alert management if our bathroom does not meet your expectations. And I'm thinking, it's 2 a.m. in Florence, South Carolina at a truck stop. What kind of expectations do you have? Frankly, I was expecting to be stabbed, so I was thrilled that it didn't meet my expectations. We expecting some chamomile soap and an oatmeal scrub? Come on, it's a truck stop. It's not a day spa. I like those signs on the side of the interstate that tell you what restaurants are coming up. They don't tell you what you want to know, though, and that's how far off the interstate is a restaurant. You're like, hey, Arby's, you pull off, it's 15 miles, 28 turns. Tell me that before I get off. Is a Starbucks right off the interstate, or am I going to need Lord Gandalf and Frodo to find it? So I'm not that thirsty. I like to go to the Flying J Travel Plaza. That's where the truckers go. It's right off the interstate, huge, got everything you need. But you can get lost in there. I was wandering around the other day, and I accidentally wandered into the Professional Truckers Only Lounge. Yeah, that's real in the Flying J Travel Plaza. Yeah, it's kind of like the Admirals Club at the airport, sort of. If the Admirals Club are full of homeless truckers, you know. But my daddy was a trucker, and I got trucker blood in me. I figured, well, I'll just play it off. But I was wearing this suit. And so I'm walking in, and the guy's like, hey, this is for professional truckers only. I'm like, come on, man, how do you know I'm not a professional trucker? He's like, you got teeth. I was like, touche, buddy, touche. He's like, touche, this is my real hair. True story. True story. I always like to go to the state fair when I'm traveling around the country. I like to go to the state fair because that's where the real thrill rides are. I like a thrill ride. I mean, if you go to Six Flags, it takes a team of engineers years to build a roller coaster. Meanwhile, at the state fair, we got the PBR construction crew putting up a tilt-a-whirl in the back of a flatbed pickup truck. Armed with just a broken pair of vice grips, a can of WD-40, and a weak command of the English language. It's a thrill when you're standing in line for a ride, look down the trash can and see some loose bolts and an empty roll of duct tape. That's gonna be a good ride on the Gravitron. Yeah. Only thing scarier than the rides at the state fair is the food. And if you can fry something and put it on a stick, they will serve it up. Amen. For years, the top-selling food item was the deep-fried Twinkie. And they thought, well, this isn't good enough. Last year, they introduced chicken-fried bacon. Yeah. And this year, I don't know if you saw it, right here at the North Carolina State Fair, they were serving it deep-fried butter. Yeah. That's real. That's real. They take a stick of butter, they cut it up in little pieces, they deep-fry it, serve it on a toothpick like a little artery-blocking hors d'oeuvre. Now, I'm no doctor, but if you're eating deep-fried butter, you have really let yourself go. You don't care if you live or die. Like, here's $5, let's see what happens. If I want to eat food that'll kill me, I'll just call up my family and have a potluck dinner. That's a fine Southern tradition right there. And there's a reason why that word luck is in there, because you don't know what you're eating or who made it. You don't know if that hair in the casserole is human or animal. You just don't know. It's never healthy either. Only country people can take something like a green bean and turn it into junk food. My grandma's like, here's my world-famous green bean casserole. It's green beans sauteed in pork fat and butter, covered with Velveeta cheese, roasted marshmallows, and sprinkled on top of cornflakes. Like, that's a real thing. I'm like, Grandma, what's the matter? Could you deep fry it while you're at it? Like, that's not a bad idea. My mom would make that sweet tea, put it in the old milk jugs, put 2-3 cups of sugar in there. That tea's so sweet it would choke a hummingbird. Give Count Chocula diabetes right there. Just bad food. Come on, man. How do you make a chocolate pie smell like cigarettes? I mean, how is that possible? My Aunt Margaret could, man. I was like, is that Marlboro meringue? Just a touch of nicotine. Just do you right. Growing up, I never knew what a salad was, man. We'd have a whole table of salad, not a single lettuce leaf. It's like potato salad, chicken salad, bean salad, tuna salad, egg salad. Now let's look at egg salad for 1 second. The top ingredients are eggs and mayonnaise. Now, how do you call that a salad? That's like making a milkshake out of Skittles and calling it a fruit smoothie. I mean, who are you fooling? My family can eat too. They take that flimsy paper plate, pile it up like it was their last meal, go down the gravy bowl, squish a hole in the top, and then cover the whole thing in gravy like a cholesterol volcano. And it always asks that same blessing. They're like, Lord, bless this food to the nourishment of our bodies. Now, I know the Lord works miracles, but you have got to meet him halfway. The Bible says your body is a temple, not a drive-through. Jesus fed the multitude with 5 loaves and 2 fishes, not 5 Krispy Kremes and 2 Bojangles biscuits. Can I get an amen? Amen. All right. I've been traumatized by food. That's why I'm so thin. It's not just the black I'm wearing. My wife's like, wear black, it's slimming. I'm like, that's just what I need to look skinnier. Why don't I throw on a pair of Spanx while I'm at it? Really go for that recovering from swine flu look. The ladies like that. Yeah. Man, I tell you what, I was always skinny. Growing up, there was a skinny kid, me, and there was a fat kid, and I was always getting picked on. Nobody messed with a fat kid because he could take you out with one of those big old ham hocks. I'm not talking about his fist, I'm talking about an actual ham hock. He could knock you out. I don't have kids now. It's a good thing, man. They'd be traumatized. Other kids would be like, my dad could beat your dad. He'd be like, probably. Your mom has a good shot, too. What are you, 70 pounds? You could take him down. People say there's pressure to be thin. I think there's pressure to eat. I went to this Texas Roadhouse saloon thing, and they give all the big steaks manly names, you know, to play on your manhood. They're like, try the wild steer for the manly appetite, for the man that can go all night long. You'll be going all night, but not the way they're implying, I think. And then the smaller steaks have more feminine names, like the Queen's Cut. And that's still like 12 ounces. I'm like, do you have anything smaller than the Queen's Cut? Waiter's like, yeah, maybe you'd like the Mama's Boy. I'm like, just bring me the Richard Simmons. And a side of painful gym class memories. Richard Simmons, see, there's one of the reasons why health food never caught on, man. They had the lamest spokespeople. They had John Denver for grape nuts, Wilford Brimley, the Jolly Green Giant. These aren't exactly the manliest of men here. The worst is the Quaker Oats man. Now, oatmeal's supposed to be one of the best things you can get your kids to eat, but their mascot's somebody you wouldn't let your kids talk to. It's an old dude wearing a powdered wig and man stockings. If you saw him on the playground trying to talk to your kids, you'd be calling up Chris Hansen from Dateline. He'd be like, what's that in the bag? It's oatmeal. Like, get out of here, creep. Oh, I was going to make breakfast. Bet you were, sicko. I just had a wedding anniversary, yeah. Yes, thank you. The wave of enthusiasm is sweet. Yeah, all right. Yeah. I know a lot of comedians make fun of being married, but I'm happy. Man, if you can find someone to accept you the way you are, that's a good thing. Because I got my faults, man. I snore, for one thing. And my wife, she's tried all kinds of things. She got me these Breathe Right strips. Yeah, it's basically like a piece of duct tape you put on your nose to hold your nostrils open. Now, I got a pretty big nose anyway. Once you duct tape my nostrils open, I look like a warthog. Now I'm not snoring, but my wife has to wake up next to Pumbaa from The Lion King. It's not exactly sexy right there. I'm scared of bugs, too. You ever had a bug? You didn't have any bug spray, so you just spray the bug down with anything you can get your hands on? Turns out you can't kill a spider with Febreze. You're just gonna make him mad. Getting ready for the show tonight, this giant roach came up on me. I hit him up with some cologne. Nothing. Then I got some deodorant. No effect. So then I got the heavy artillery, the Aquanet. I sprayed him in there. He just shook it off and kept going. I didn't kill the roach. I just got him ready for the prom. That roach is wearing more hairspray than a Waffle House waitress. I'm glad not to be dating anymore. People give you crazy advice when you're dating. They're like, hey, you want to meet a girl? Go to the grocery store. And come on, that's too hard. I got to worry about what I'm wearing. I got to worry about what to say. Now I got to worry about what's in my basket. Can't be trying to hit on a girl. She looks down my basket, sees some lactose-free milk, breathe right strips, and roach spray. That's not a recipe for romance. It can't be too obvious. You can't have like some champagne, strawberries, and whipped cream. Like, yeah, girl, I got some champagne, I got some strawberries, I got some whipped cream. All I need to go with this is you. She'd be like, no, all you need to go with that is a pound cake. That would be delicious with those items. I have a friend of mine, he's still dating, he's about my age. He introduced me to his new girlfriend. He's like, hey, man, check it out. She's a sushi model. I'm like, a what? He's like, a sushi model. Rich people pay her to come to their party and she lies there half naked and they eat sushi off her. I'm like, talk about your lazy Susan. It's appropriate, though, because she is dating a dumb waiter. Boom! Don't you moan on me. Come on now. There's your puns for the night. I'm doing comedy full-time now. I used to work in the office, and I miss it. There's so much fun working in the office. It really is. Yeah, it is. Especially around Christmas time. We used to play that game at the Christmas party called the Dirty Santa. You know, where everybody brings a gift, you try to steal each other's gift. It always starts fun, never ends that way. Starts out people laughing, high-fiving. 2 hours later, you got two best friends who won't speak to each other for a year over a sham wow. Come on, man, it's a $10 gift that ain't worth going to jail for. You don't want to be sitting up in prison, so what are you in here for? Well, I really wanted that slanket. One thing led to another. I used to work with these guys. They were way too excited about lunch. You come in the morning like, hey, where are you going for lunch? I'm like, I just woke up. They're like, let's take my car, let's go to lunch. I never like to ride with people because you don't know what you're getting into. You ever have a coworker or a friend use their car as a trash can, never throws anything out? You go to sit down, the seat's all covered in garbage. They're like, oh, let me get that. And they do that arm sweep and just sweep all the trash off the seat into the floorboard. So now you don't have to sit in the trash, but it's piled so high on the floor, your knees are touching your forehead. You're riding Applebee's, half afraid Oscar the Grouch is going to pop out. Hey! Scram. We had a small firm. I worked for this small consulting firm, and we had an HR rep that was really passive-aggressive. And she would never confront someone when there was a trouble. She would just rewrite the employee manual and email it out to everybody. Yeah. But the changes were so specific, you knew who she was talking about. She's like, oh, employees may adorn their workspace with personal photos from home, except those depicting Myrtle Beach Bike Week 1998. Now, come on. That's too specific. Employees may install personalized ringtones on company cell phones, except for In the Club by 50 Cent. Now, come on. Shorty, it's my birthday. Come on. A lot of people try to look for another job while they're at work, but they don't want to use their work email, so they use a personal email. Now, you've got to get some decent personal email addresses. I was looking at this resume one time. I was like, oh, I graduated top of my class, magna cum laude. You can email me at imaplayer@hustlers.net. How about I email you at you ain't getting this job.ever. I live in Durham, and we have a lot of gang activity in Durham. Yeah, that's why I live there, because I'm from the streets. And I saw on the news that gang members are using Facebook now to recruit other gang members and to taunt people from other gangs. Man, you know technology has gotten out of hand when you get an Evite for a drive-by. That's bad. I can see a bunch of gangbangers gathered around the laptop. No, you did not throw a sheep at me. Oh! Make for some interesting status updates, though. Be like, yo, I just stabbed my neighbor for playing his music too loud. Hey, does anyone have 2 chickens for Farmville? Gang members play Farmville too, apparently. I just had a hernia recently. And yeah. I think you'll agree that a hernia is a pretty manly affliction. It's usually associated with heavy straining. And I'd like to tell you, I got the hernia from doing something manly, like roping a steer or lifting a burning car off a baby. But really, it was just a bad cough. You know, you're not the toughest guy in the room when you're forced to have surgery after a chest cold. I had to have a really last-minute surgery, and there wasn't any doctors available. So I got this doctor who had just graduated. I mean, she graduated the day before my surgery. I was her first patient, and I was scared. I felt a little better when I found out she went to Carolina, because that's a really good school. It was dental school, but still, it's a tough program there. So I'm scared, and I go in there, and she brings me a robe and a magic marker. She said, take off your clothes, take the magic marker, and write the word yes where your hernia is. And I'm thinking, man, if you don't know where my hernia is, I don't want you operating on me. But I did it. I wrote the word yes where my hernia was, and just to make sure she saw it, I put a little asterisk beside it. Then I circled it, and then I started getting really carried away, drawing arrows from my shoulder down, from my ankle all the way up. By the time I was done, it looked like one of those traps the coyote set for the road runner. There were arrows, neon flashing signs, a bowl of birdseed. Not to be missed. I thought, well, maybe I should write no where the hernia isn't. So I'm like, no, stay out. You don't want to be too careful. I went in the operating table. They start strapping down your ankles and your wrists, and that was kind of weird. I'm like, what's this about? They're like, well, every once in a while, occasionally now and then, somebody wakes up during surgery and tries to get away. I'm like, I reckon so. That happens to me. You just take that bedpan over there and whack me over the head with it. Don't worry about the pleasantries. They make you sign all kinds of crazy waivers, too. You know, like you might die, yes or no. The weird one was, this is a real one I had to sign. It was like, if we see something strange while we're working on your hernia, do you want us to go ahead and fix it? I'm like, what's this? They're like, if we're working on your hernia and we're in there looking around, we see something funny, you want us to fix it? I'm like, what is this, Jiffy Lube? You're gonna wake me up during surgery, Mr. Wake up. Mr. Wake up. Hey, we was working on your surgery, on your hernia. It looks like it's been a while since you changed your air filter. Just fix it. What's $12 more? My grandfather, he's getting senile, he's getting old, and my nephew has volunteered to move in and help take care of him, which is fantastic. But it's a little bit of a problem in my family because my nephew likes to play rap music while he's taking care of Grandpa. And the family's they're all upset. They're like, oh, Grandpa shouldn't be listening to that gangster rap music. And I'm like, well, what's the harm in it? What's going to happen? We're going to go over there one day, Grandpa drinking a 40-ounce of Metamucil. Go get his toupee braided into cornrows, gold caps put on his dentures. I mean, come on. I can see it now. He used to wear his pants hiked up real high. Now he got him sagging around his waist, adult diaper hanging out. 60-inch rims on his wheelchair, neon underneath. Make his Craftmatic bed go up and down like a hoopty. Tell Grandma to back that thing up. Come on, back it up. Thank you so much. I'm Larry Weaver. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.